It is the middle of August. I see the mailman walking up the driveway. In his hand is the dreaded electric bill. My stomach sinks. I know what fate lies before me inside that green and white envelope. If you're anything like me, your electric bill skyrockets in the summer months because of the use of air conditioning. Now, thanks to scientists and engineers from Purdue University, that can all be a thing of the past. Today, I will inform the audience of this new invention of the whitest white paint. First, I will discuss the history and how it came about. Next, I will talk about current applications. And lastly, I will touch on future applications and possible drawbacks of the invention. So Lynn Ruan, a professor at Purdue University, said in a statement, when we set out on this project 7 years ago, we had saving energy and curbing the climate crisis in mind. As they tried to create this reflective substance, they noticed the material was becoming wider and wider, which ultimately landed them in Guinness Book of World Record for the whitest white paint ever invented. Two factors help create this ultra white paint. One is a very high chemical compound of barium sulfate. Here is barium sulfate to the naked eye. The other factor is the possible different shapes and sizes of the barium sulfate particles inside. This is a picture of the particles under a microscope, and you can see that they come in all different shapes and sizes. The more different shapes and sizes of particles they have available, the broader spectrum of sunlight it can reflect. Now that I've discussed the history and how it came about, I will discuss current applications. The whitest white paint is not available for sale yet, but researchers and scientists have teamed up with a manufacturing company and should be on shelves within the next 2 years. In an article in Innovative Design, Shivani Vora talks about this white paint being on a 1,000 square foot, painted on a 1,000 square foot surface of a roof. And that could cool the inside give a cooling power of 10 kilowatts, which is more power than what air conditioners use in the average home today. With the reduction, which would reduce our need for air conditioners, which would reduce our usage of electricity, thusly burning less fossil fuel, and thus ultimately omitting or reducing carbon dioxide into our atmosphere. The paint was tested in many different climates, and they found that in the night surfaces underneath the paints can be reduced by 19 degrees, and in the day can be reduced by 8 degrees. Now that we've discussed current applications of this paint, I will talk about future applications. Obviously, this paint is meant to be on roofs to help cool the inside of homes and buildings, which would omit our need for air conditioning and saving electricity and saving our money as well. Also, in an article in New Scientist magazine titled "Cooling Paints May Help Ease Water Shortages," they talk about this cone design would have the new whitest white paint on top would cause condensation underneath, and the condensation would collect in a cup and giving water and help curb the drought in some areas. On a grander scale, Matthew Sparks, also a reporter from New Science magazine, said that if 0.5% to 1% of the Earth's surface was covered in this paint, it could help. The effects would reverse global warming to date. Possible drawbacks is for this paint to work and get ultimate maximized utilization, the surface has to be completely clean of debris, gum, grime, and I don't know about you, but it is very hard to keep anything clean that is outside. Also, if there is no longer a need for air conditioners, would this paint create more jobs than it omits? Lastly, does this paint stand the test of time? Like any painted surface, I'm assuming it'll have to be repainted every so often, every so many years to stay as good and fresh as it would from the beginning. So in conclusion, to recap what I've discussed today, this newest white paint came about because the need for climate change. Hopefully it'll omit the need for air conditioning, saving us not just in our wallets, but in our environments. And also, it is useful to cool homes and buildings, as well as someday help curb the drought in some areas. Hopefully, a few years down the road, when I see the mailman walking up the driveway with the dreaded electric bill in hand, I can breathe a sigh of relief knowing I didn't use my air conditioner all summer long. This new whitest white paint is not just a cool new invention, but will help us keep cool for years to come. Thank you.